There are 7 reasons your mower is not starting right now, and a shop will charge you hundreds of dollars to check each one. But in reality, every single one of them you can diagnose and fix yourself today. I am going through all 7, and the last one is the one that turns a mower you are ready to throw away back into a running machine. Starting controls. Your mower might be perfectly fine, sitting there acting completely dead, and most people never check this first. So before you touch anything mechanical, before you spend a dime, this is the one fix that makes people feel really dumb later, so let's just get it out of the way right now. Here's the thing nobody tells you. Mowers are built on purpose to refuse to start unless a bunch of little safety controls are all in exactly the right spot. The engineers did that so you don't lose a finger, which is great, except it also means a totally healthy mower can act 100% dead and you'll swear the engine is toast. It isn't. It's just sulking because you didn't hold something down or sit somewhere right. If you've got a walk-behind mower, look at that bar on the handle. That's the operator presence bail, the safety bar, whatever you want to call it. You have to squeeze it fully against the handle and hold it there before you pull the rope or hit the start button. Not halfway, all the way. People tap it, pull the cord, get nothing, and assume the worst. If you've got a riding mower, check your specific model's starting sequence because it varies. On many models, you need the parking brake set, PTO, or blades disengaged, the seat switch satisfied, motion levers in neutral, and sometimes the deck raised. Not every model requires all of these. Some do not need you in the seat to start. Others will not start with the deck lowered. Check your manual for the exact sequence on yours. This isn't me guessing. Cub Cadet straight up lists this stuff. Engaged blades, a disengaged parking brake, just plain improper operation. Those are right there on their list of the most common reasons a mower won't start. Sitting next to fuel problems and air filter problems and spark plug problems. And Husqvarna says some of their ride-on mowers flat out will not start if the cutting deck is lowered. That's not a malfunction, that's the design fighting you because you skipped a step. So the fix here isn't even a repair. There's nothing to fix. You just reset every single control in order. Bail bar held, brake set, blades off, deck up if your model requires it. Then while you're down there, brush off any obvious grass and gunk that's built up around those little switches because debris can keep them from clicking. And listen, only mess with a broken connector if you can actually do it safely. The one thing you do not do, ever, is bypass a safety switch to get the thing running. That's how people get hurt. Reset it the right way, and honestly, a lot of the time, the mower just fires right up and you feel like an idiot for the good reason. While you are at it, pull the dipstick. Too little oil, too much oil, or oil that looks like black sludge can all cause starting and running problems. If the oil is low, top it off to the full mark. If it is overfilled or looks like it has not been changed in years, drain it and refill with the weight your manual specifies. This takes 5 minutes and eliminates a common cause that most people skip entirely. But say you do all that. Controls are perfect, oil is good, everything's where it should be, and it's still dead as a doornail. Then the real culprit is next, and it is one of the most common causes of a no start on any small engine: stale fuel. If your mower sat in the garage all winter, you already know exactly which problem this is, you just really don't want to hear it, because the fix is annoying and it's going to make a small mess. But this is one of the highest payoff things you can do without ever going to a shop, and here's why. Gasoline goes bad, fast. Way faster than you'd think, especially in a tiny engine like the one on your mower. A mower that lasts 20 years isn't built different, it's maintained different. As someone with over 20 years of experience working with small engines, this changes how I tell people to maintain them. The new Make It Last maintenance protocol shows you an easy-to-follow, step-by-step guide with over 100 pages of information about what actually kills these mowers and how to stop it. What's worth fixing, which parts to buy, walk-behind or riding, There's one for both. Scan the QR code or tap the link up top. Make it last. It's not like the gas in your car that gets used up every week. This stuff just sits and it breaks down and it turns into a varnishy goop that your engine simply cannot run on. And again, I'm not making this up to sound smart. Briggs & Stratton, one of the largest small engine manufacturers in the country, say stale fuel, along with dirt and debris, are among the most common reasons outdoor power equipment won't start. And they specifically call out after storage as the danger zone. Untreated fuel can start breaking down after about a month, and fuel left from last season is suspect unless it was properly stabilized. So if that gas has been sitting since last fall without stabilizer, it is almost certainly past its useful life. There's also a second part to this that trips people up, and it's not about old gas, it's about wrong gas. Toro recommends you use at least 87 octane, and they say gasoline with up to 10% ethanol is fine. But E15, E20, E85, all that higher ethanol stuff, not approved for their gasoline engines. So if you grab the wrong pump at the station, that alone can be your whole problem. So here's what you do. Get an approved container, the proper red gas can, and drain the old fuel out into it. Don't dump it on the ground, don't be a hero about it. Then refill with fresh gasoline, the right grade your manual asks for. If your mower's got a fuel shutoff valve, make sure you open it back up after. If it still will not start after fresh fuel, the carburetor bowl may still have old fuel or varnish sitting in it. That gets addressed later in this video. Quick thing while we're on this, drop a comment and tell me how long your gas was actually sitting, because I guarantee somebody's about to admit it was 2 years, and that's hilarious. Now, here's the part you need to remember, because old fuel doesn't just stop your mower today. It comes back to bite you later in a way that's way more annoying. Hold that thought, it matters for the last method. Because fresh gas and still nothing, then the engine's literally choking. And that's method 3, the air filter. There's a part on your mower that costs about $4, maybe less, and it quietly ruins everything the second it gets dirty. And almost nobody checks it because, well, it's just a filter. How important could it be? Really important, it turns out. Here's the deal. A mower engine doesn't run on gas alone. It runs on a specific mix of air and fuel, and it's got to be the right ratio or the thing won't fire. The air filter controls the air half of that equation. So when it's clogged up with grass clippings and dust and oil, you're choking the engine. It either can't pull in enough air or it runs way too rich on fuel, and you get smoke, hard starting, or just nothing at all. Briggs & Stratton's own carburetor guidance basically tells you to check this. They say to verify the air going into the carburetor is clean, that the filter is installed correctly, that it's free of debris, and that it's not soaked with oil. And separately, in their troubleshooting stuff, they straight up say to clean or replace a dirty or plugged air filter. So this isn't an optional little tune-up thing. It's on the official no start list. Now there's one detail that actually matters here, and it depends on what kind of filter you've got. If it's a paper filter, the flat, pleated, white or yellow kind, replace it if it is dirty or damaged, unless your manual specifically allows gentle cleaning, such as tapping it or low pressure compressed air from the engine side. Do not brush a paper filter. Brushing forces dirt into the fibers and makes it worse than the clog. If you've got a foam pre-filter, the spongy one, check your manual for the correct procedure because foam filters vary by model. Some need cleaning and re-oiling, others are replaced at intervals. And whatever type you have, when you put it back, make sure it's seated correctly. A filter sitting crooked in the housing is the same as no filter at all. So you've got air flowing clean, gas is fresh, and the thing still won't fire. All right, now we go after the part everyone blames first and panic buys for no reason, the spark plug. This is the part everybody runs out and buys the second their mower won't start. And I swear half the time they didn't even need a new one. They just throw money at it because it's the one part they've heard of. So let's actually do it right. here's where the plug fits in the chain. You've now got fuel, you've got air, but fuel and air just sitting in the cylinder do absolutely nothing. They need a spark to light them. That's the plug's entire job. No spark, no boom, no start. So if everything upstream checks out, the plug is the next logical, cheap thing to look at. And Briggs and Stratton put this right on their list too. They identify disconnected, dirty, or fouled spark plugs as common causes of a no start. Notice that first word, disconnected. Sometimes the plug is totally fine and the little wire boot just popped loose or wasn't pushed on all the way. That's a 30-second fix. Check your manual for the replacement interval. Many small engines call for seasonal spark plug service. Some specify every 25 hours, others every 100 hours. If you genuinely can't remember the last time you looked at it, it's probably due. Before you touch any of this, safety, because we're near a thing that spins and cuts. The manufacturers say, stop the engine, wait for everything to come to a complete stop, and disconnect the spark plug wire. Do that first every time. There's no reason for that engine to be able to fire while your hand's near the blade, then pull the plug out and just look at it. You're checking for heavy black carbon buildup, oil fouling where it looks wet and gross, cracked porcelain on the white part, electrodes that are worn down to nubs, or that loose boot we talked about. If it's nasty, put in the correct replacement plug for your engine, and here's the part people skip. Set the gap to whatever your manual specifies. Wrong gap means a weak spark even with a brand new plug. Real quick, if any of these have already saved you a shop bill, hit subscribe so the next mower problem doesn't beat you. But here's the twist. Sometimes the engine is completely fine, and the thing fighting you isn't the engine at all. The deck. If your pull cord feels like it's stuck in concrete, or your electric start is straining and grinding like it's about to give up, something may be physically stopping the engine from turning over. This is the one that fools a ton of people, because every symptom screams dead engine when really the engine's healthy and just physically can't turn. A mower can refuse to start because the blade or the drive system is jammed up or overloaded. The engine tries to spin, the blade can't move, and the whole thing locks up tight. What causes it? Usually it's wet grass. You mow a soggy lawn, that clipping mush packs up under the deck like wet cement and basically glues the blade in place. Or you've got a jammed blade from hitting a root or a rock, a drive belt that slipped and gotten stuck, or debris wedged around the blade brake. Any of those and your healthy engine feels like a dead one. On electric start mowers, also check the battery, cables, and starter connections before assuming the deck is jammed. A weak battery or corroded terminal can cause the exact same straining and grinding sound. Toro's manual guidance is exactly what you follow here, and it leads with safety because you're about to stick your hands near a blade. Stop the engine, wait for all moving parts to fully stop, and disconnect the spark plug wire before you check or clear any blockage. They also say to keep the underside of the mower housing clean for best performance, which is the whole point. A clean deck doesn't jam. Now there's one detail that can turn a simple cleaning into a brand new problem if you blow it. To get under there, you've got to tip the mower, and Toro says to follow your specific model's manual on which way to tip it. This matters a lot. Tip it the wrong direction and you'll dump oil or fuel straight into the air filter or the intake, and now you've got a smoking, flooded mess on top of your original problem. So check your manual, tip it the right way, clear out the packed grass, free up the blade, sort out the belt, knock the debris off the brake, and set it back down. And here's a heads up, because this exact confusion is what makes people give up and go buy a whole new mower when theirs was fine the entire time. Keep that in mind, it pays off in a second. Because if the deck's clean and it still won't catch, then gas is making it into the tank, but it's not making it where it actually needs to go. Fuel delivery. Here's how you prove the gas isn't getting where it's supposed to, with one quick check that takes 10 seconds. Pull the spark plug back out after you've cranked it a bunch. Is it bone dry? If you've been trying to start it over and over and that plug is totally dry, that points toward a fuel delivery problem somewhere from the tank through the carburetor. Gas in the tank means nothing if it can't get to the cylinder. Now, if the plug is wet, that points toward a spark or ignition issue or flooding. Fuel is getting there, but it is not igniting. That one check instantly tells you which direction to go next. If the plug is dry, you follow the gas on its journey from the tank forward and find where it's getting stuck. Start at the tank itself. Look for debris or junk floating in there. Confirm the fuel shutoff valve is actually open, because if you closed it for storage and forgot, surprise, that's the whole thing. Then check the fuel line for cracks or kinks, because an old rubber line gets brittle and splits, or it gets pinched and chokes off the flow. Clean or replace the fuel filter or the little in-tank screen if your mower has one, because that clogs solid with gunk. And make sure your primer bulb or your choke linkage is actually working, since that's what gets fuel moving on a cold start. This is straight off the manufacturer playbook. Briggs & Stratton's no-start troubleshooting literally begins with fuel, the level, the freshness, the shutoff, and the cleanliness, in that order, before anything fancy. And Toro's manual walks you through the whole thing too, draining the fuel tank, checking the fuel hoses, cleaning the fuel filter element, and draining fuel into an approved container so you're not making a mess or a hazard. So if fuel is reaching the carburetor and the thing still won't run, then the carburetor becomes the prime suspect. But ignition, compression, and valve issues can still be involved, and we will cover those at the end. The carburetor. This is the one that turns a throw it in the dump mower back into a running machine, and it's the last thing standing between you and a working mower. It's also the most complicated fix you can do without a shop, so take your time, but don't be scared of it. Here's what the carburetor even does. It's the part that mixes your air and your fuel together in the exact right amounts and feeds that mix into the engine. It's full of tiny passages and little jets, and they're narrow. So when does it get clogged? Remember that stale fuel from way back in Method 2? The thing I told you would come back to bite you? This is the bite. When old gas sits and breaks down, it leaves behind a sticky varnish, and that varnish dries inside those tiny carburetor passages and plugs them solid. So a problem you could have prevented with fresh gas becomes the hardest fix on this whole list. That's why Method 2 matters so much. Briggs & Stratton confirm it. They say a dirty carburetor can cause poor performance or starting problems, and that deposits can clog the fuel and air passages enough to either kill the performance or stop the engine altogether. So this is real and it's common. The fix is carburetor cleaner, the spray can stuff. You get into the accessible passages, the bowl at the bottom, the float area, the choke plate, and the throttle plate, and you blast all that varnish out. A lot of mowers come back to life right here with just a good cleaning. If cleaning doesn't cut it, you step up to a rebuild kit that matches your exact model, which gives you fresh gaskets and parts, or you just drop in a whole replacement carburetor, which is honestly not that expensive and dead simple to bolt on. And here's the last piece, the real bottom of the rabbit hole. If you've done everything, verified fresh fuel, clean air, good spark, cleared the deck, confirmed fuel delivery, and serviced the carburetor, and it still won't start, then the remaining stuff you can check at home is the ignition lead and coil, the kill switch, the flywheel key for damage, and the valves and compression. Briggs & Stratton list those ignition faults, flywheel key damage, and valve and compression checks as the later stage no-start causes, the deep ones. That's the end of the at-home road.